Okay, so the cooler stack's torn down. That's just draining oil into some rags stuffed into the bottom end. Just anything can flow down to the bottom. Not there's much in there. It gets enough airflow through it to keep it largely oil free. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to take it apart. I figured while I'm doing it, I'll replace it, because old nylon radiator tanks, when they're this old and done this many miles, they have a habit of exploding without warning. Yeah, that's evil. Given this is after I rotted a carpet of bugs out from between the condenser and this when I got the car. Julian would remember that one. He was here when I did it, and it was like that, but all around here. Like I had to get a like basically a 1 meter ruler and slide it down here and actually scrape it all out. So I'm guessing everything in this car was just that. It was a balanced kind of, well, stuffed. Like everything was just that bad. It was balanced. Like the thermostat never closed properly, so it always had flow through the radiator. It kept cool, undercool a little bit, but never really got the chance to overheat. Now if I was to do the thermostat and probably just throw it back together again, it'd probably have a heart attack. So I'm going to do everything, probably even the water pump if it doesn't feel right. I'd rather let it go for a little bit longer given the price of them, but still, I could always run over to Mercedes-Benz in Mornington and get a new one. So again, all the passages in here are just blocked. You can't see it very well, but you're probably only getting 50% airflow through this whole stack. 50% at the most. It's not good. It's not good at all. So yeah, it's got to come apart and get cleaned. Well, that comes off and gets cleaned. The radiator goes aside for storage, probably just random project stuff. It's still good. It's still watertight and pressure tight. But I want a new one, so that's going in next. And I'll clean my little fan up. Plug the condenser up with some caps and tape and get the blaster onto it, because that's not good. That's probably why the AC was dismal. Pull it fan. Shouldn't leave it face down. That'll just get a good clean up. Wash it with some soapy solution. Face up, this side facing up, so water drains past the motor. Although being brushless, it's actually got less to go wrong if it does get water in it. And probably standing other way up, stand it up the way it's supposed to be and give it a good scrub. Very good. And everything's held together with these annoying little Torx / hex head bits and clips. So yeah, they're not too bad. Get a bit of a clean out first, then get the soap onto it. It's knocking a lot of crap out of it. It's still coming out brown. Really need to find my nozzle for this hose, but this will do. I'll get some soapy cleaner onto that next. Alright, clean it up nicely. I had to drill the heads off the little ties, condenser ties, because you need these little spaces in here, otherwise this bottom edge will rub on the core. So you must have these rubber spaces in. It's worth getting a set of these. I think you can get them on eBay. I got these from V8 Jagnut, because he does a lot of auto AC stuff and gets extras included with every condenser. I think he gave them to me because he just had too many of them. So you just push it down through the core till it comes through, and then snap the end cap on. Pretty straightforward. But yeah, the old ones sort of died. What do you do? I might have to lift that other end up and pop these in too. Yeah, they go under there. Yeah, bugger. I've got to pop that thing up again and put these in just so that these edges don't bow down and hit the core. You don't want rub through the radiator, that's all. Alright, fan cleaned up nicely. I ended up hitting it with a bit of Sally's oven cleaner. Just strip that dirt straight off it. That stuff's wonderful. So that's good. That's tied in and properly spaced now. So yeah, good to go. Very good to go. Intercooler time. Yeah, it's not too bad. Needs a good clean. Yeah, that'll clean up. It's good. A bit of oil coming down. Nothing serious. Alright, that's it. Ready to go back in. Everything's clean, reassembled. All good. Decent sized radiator on these things, I'll give them that much. New hose. It's a bottom hose for an E270, but they fit the exact same engine on the ML270. I couldn't find an ML270 hose, and I ended up researching that part number, and they're actually a drop-in replacement match. So if you can't find an ML270 lower hose, buy an E271. It's the same thing. So that's power steering cooler. Not sure what the Autotrans uses for cooling. I haven't found one of those yet. Unless it shares the same. No, it can't share the same reservoir. I wonder what the Autotrans uses. Unless it's an internal coolant to fluid heat exchanger. I think that's what it'll be. There'll be a internal exchanger. Yeah, I can see now. Those hoses coming off the front of the bell housing go up here to that plate type heat exchanger for engine oil and transmission fluid, so it balances the temperature of the system evenly. It's to give a very even and uniform warm up and cool down and such. Yeah, it's a good idea. Just needs a good wash. That isn't leaking. Most of the oil that's around here has been blown out through intake air boost leaks, just pushing inlet oil out. Thankfully, once I fix that oil separator, that problem should go away. I realise she might be breathing a bit heavy because of the extra mileage, but it's nothing tragic. And I'm going to get that out next. That's going to be fun. You can see the crank position sensor on top. Starter motor's right there. Yeah, it's not too hard to work on. Well, not too hard. It's still a bit of a challenge, but I bought it because I wanted a challenge. I didn't buy it because I wanted something easy to work on. I would have bought something else, otherwise I just stuck with the RAV4s. But no, I love this car. It's great fun. Good practice too. Good experience. You got to earn your XP points somehow. Oh, fluid recovery time. It's running a little three-phase refrigeration pump as a vacuum pump. Pull the vacuum on this modified old R134A bottle, and pulling waste power steering fluid out of the system. I'm also going to do the same for parts of the diesel injection system and waste coolant and stuff, and all the sludge that ends up in that drum just gets tipped into a waste oil disposal bottle. I've got a pump on order. This one's noisy, it's not happy, it's probably original. Same with that idler there, that's shot. So I've got new pump and idler for $200 delivered tomorrow, an express delivery. So that's all getting replaced. That one there's okay, it's probably been done at one stage. That's alright. I've got a spare one on a Mercedes Vito alternator, so if I have to replace this, I've actually got a replacement. Can't find that hose that goes to the pump. He said he can get it in, but it's $150. I'm going to improvise and make my own for that price. I'd rather spend that sort of money on a pump, not just one rubber hose. The old one's not diabolical, but it's bad enough. It's covered in crap. It'll work for now. I think that's all of it. Yeah, this thing works really well. You just use it to soak up oil and stuff that's in hard to reach places. It's really handy. Alright, we're getting onto the diesel fuel system. I've got the water to fuel heat exchanger out. Now we're just getting the power steering reservoir out of place. Getting there. I might not even have to take the fuel rail off. It looks like everything comes off underneath it, which is fantastic. Yeah, if I don't have to take that fuel injection rail off, that saves a lot of trouble. Looks like everything goes underneath it. What is it? Oh, I think the fuel rail mounts might share the same mounts as the swirl flap assembly, but maybe not. Let's see how we go without having to take that guy off, because that'll save a lot of trouble, because right now the inlet of the lift pump is blocked and sealed, and that's about it. You've got return to tank, return to rail, which is just tucked in there. I can move him out of the way easy enough. Well, hopefully not have to move it too far, because it is quite old and brittle. There's a connector going down there to the side of the sump, I think. That's a oil level sensor, low oil sensor. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. I'm hoping this manifold will come off without actually having to take the fuel injection rail off. It'll save a lot of risk of contamination. Otherwise everything has to be sealed off with a ball bearing and heat shrink, as a friend on IRC suggested. Obliterus on Geek Group IRC said he's known to use heat shrink and ball bearings. It's actually a really good idea. You place a ball bearing on top of the hole and a bit of heat shrink over the top, and if it fits tight enough you don't even have to shrink it. In this case I do, but you heat shrink the whole lot and it's just sealed up as one sealed thing. You can't get any dirt and debris in there, which is very, very important for common rail systems. Do not get dirt and debris on this side of the system. Before the filter, fine, the filter will trap it. But after the filter, it'll go through the high pressure pump, potentially damage the high pressure pump, and then get stuck in the injectors. Or forced through the bleed valve in the injector at 20,000 psi and act like a lapping compound. It'll destroy the injectors very quickly. So yeah, you've got to be very clean with common rail systems. But it doesn't look like I actually have to take the rail off, which is fantabulous.